Hi, Alice here. Today is horrible hurricane, bigger picture, real damage. It's hard to imagine how devastating areas of the county that I live in and surrounding counties were affected by the hurricane that just went through. And when has it been? Friday morning, early hours? Now it's Sunday. So a couple of days, and it seems like a lifetime has passed. Lots of cleanup going on. And the point today is to show you the extent of some of the areas that were damaged. And why is that? Some of it could be that the trees that have the big canopy that have been so popular for shade and they've been around for many years, that they just, the weight of the leaves and the wet, all of that canopy acted as a resistance against the wind and it just drove the trees down. I don't know if that's true or not, but it seems to me a likely story. We're going to do a walk around and see my yard as far as cleanup and look at the 3 plants that were affected, or maybe 4 plants. I consider that hardly anything compared to the number of plants and shrubs that I have growing in the yard on a whole acre of property that I'm trying to landscape. We'll walk around my yard a little bit to see what we've done in terms of starting cleanup and pick up of all the debris that I showed you in the previous video. And then I'd like to take you on a brief walk down the road in front of our house. And you can see just within a few yards of where we live, some of the damage that occurred. Pictures that other people shared with me to show just how someone's hair salon was just smashed and shattered, and another person, their small private backyard was just completely wiped out, and give you some idea of what's been going on. I know a lot of footage is probably shared on the internet, and a lot of it comes from beach areas or areas where bridges have gone out and there's flooding, and certainly that is horrific and life-threatening and very dramatic. But in our own way, we have drama right here in our neighborhood. And it's our neighborhood, the neighborhood just down the road, the neighborhood past them. It's just a whole series of wherever you go, there you're going to see it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you've had experience with this kind of catastrophic event, whether it's a horrible hurricane, tornado, forest fire, then it would be wonderful to hear from you on how you managed your way through it. Let's drive into town and the walk around the neighborhood so that you can share with me what's been going on. The holly was pretty broken, but I cut it back and watered it, and I'll water it again today. And this bed that had a bunch of limbs on it has been cleaned up, and now it's just any leftover twigs and leaf litter to clean out of this bed. Got the big branches that were in yesterday's video. Those are all gone. The native firebush, we put the rootstock in the ground, cut it back, and watered it well. So hopefully we'll recover. The Starry Rosinweed that was sideways, a huge mass of it, we had to unstake it and set it in the ground and cut it back. Keep that one watered. One of the frost-proof gardenia over here, when I infected them and I took a limb off, the roots had come up. We replanted that. That's it. I still have pollinator activity. That's the Gulf literary that's been around this host plant, which is the passionflower vine. And with all the caterpillars on it, there's not much left to it. Hopefully, it has enough brick that it'll come back from the stick. And here is another caterpillar. Gulf literary, there are two of them. There's the big one at the bottom, and then the smaller one. Where this front of the yard was covered in debris and limbs, that's now all cleaned out. What's left is picking up a few things and raking. Lots of pieces of moss and leaf litter. Our pile of cleanup is there in front from the front and backyard. My friend who came with the pickup truck, it was about 6 loads in the back of this pickup truck of just limbs, broken branches. Decided to do a brief walk around on our street and see how things are, and it's damaged for real. We're just one of a gazillion neighborhoods in this whole area impacted by horrible Hurricane Helene. But we got lucky compared to some of this. And while there's a lot of damage, many people were spared. Some people were not. And to them, we send our heartfelt wishes for recovery, for safety for their family. This is yesterday's work for a group of people in the neighborhood, and the road is passable for all the neighbors to get supplies, gas, food. Of course, the gas situation, unless the station has those huge portable generators, they are lights out. And when we went to Valdosta last night, it was lights out all the way. Continued the walk along our street, and there's tree down, cables, and they've tied heads up to the traffic, and people are going off the road to get around everything. This whole mess, the tree took down the transformer in the area, jumbled mess. You can see it all back into the vacant lot here. I want to be careful where I walk because there are lines down, and this just gives you a good idea of the damage for real in our neighborhood. Here are some of the cables. Most of them look like they're internet cables. People continue to work, and some on their homes, on their yards, and of course, the first responders, the emergency prepared crews that have come from all over to assist us here, not only in Madison County, but in Taylor County, where horrible Hurricane Helene made landfall. Our area is a higher elevation, and for that, I'm grateful. We don't have flooding. I'm thankful for all the support we're getting, for how the neighbors are helping each other. I'm back home, done today, and just from the street view, appreciate how beautiful my plants are, my yard, and how thankful I am that we're safe, no structural damage. I'm doing this from my car because I don't know how safe it is to get out. There are lines, and a lot of times the lines that are down, you can't see them until you're right up on them. We have people who've been busy, although this is a tree that came down and nothing's been done about that. These are more trees that came down. This area got hit pretty badly. And here is an amazing example of what happens. That is a tree limb that went right through the roof, kind of split the house in half. And this is just house by house going around, gives you some context. Just riding into town to see about getting some gas. And the extent of the damage, this is on the road where I'm down to one lane around the corner from my house. I thought you might be interested in seeing what's happened. And this is after a whole day yesterday of people trying to work on things. But there is so much damage. People have been out with their chainsaws and everything, just trying to help move things off of the road so that people can get around. Just to give you an idea, that one's just leaning. There are several that are bent over or broken in half. Up ahead, we're down to one lane, and I'll just be driving through you. And they marked some tags on the lines so trucks don't run right into them. I'm coming up on this poles down, poles bent, poles leaning all along the road. It's just endless. Here's someone home. Looks like the house was spared, which is a good thing. We're coming up on one of the remaining trees. Remember, this is the third hurricane in 13 months. So we've done a pretty good job of cleaning out some of our weaker trees. This one took down many of the older trees with the big canopy that were still standing. What's interesting is you can see a stand of pine tree. This is a pine farm, and you would expect a lot of these to be snapped in half, but they're not. They're all fine. One of many examples of our utility workers out first thing, just back from one of the gas stations, and fortunately they had non-ethanol gas, which is what we use in our generators because the ethanol gums up the work. It's time to get to work again, cleaning up. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. More videos to watch if you'd like. And subscribe. Gardenia. See you soon.